At the beginning with Dennis, it was more of a don't miss mentality. I thought it was a way of teaching the players to be more committed to their shots, less careless, more disciplined. But I also, throughout my career, and not just Dennis, but like in the past, 15 years, I've realized that it also puts fear in a player. And if players train with fear, well, then it goes against them playing fearless. They need to play fearless but controlled. So I started, and being around other coaches and learning from other coaches, and in discussions or being on court with them, I changed my approach, and it became more of a, as long as you miss, but with the right intention, there are such things as good misses, because not everyone's going to be perfect, whether you're working on serve targets and so forth. If we're working on second serves and the ball should be clearing the net quite a bit and they keep hitting the middle or the bottom of the net, well, for me, that's not a good miss. If they're hitting serve targets and they're missing by a meter, that's not a good miss. They need to be more pinpoint, more selective, more controlled. So I now really try to use the language of good miss when I see they're going for the right shot and it's going specifically pretty close to the area, the target. Okay, good miss. You had a lot of good misses. There is such a thing as good misses, and to everybody, I believe that if the player is going for the proper quality serve without fear and they're going for it, I think anything close and around is a good serve. They were all very, very close. You're working your target. So yesterday with Danny, we were working on, again, target serving and targets in the box, and we had those yellow sticks outside the target. And I mean, right off the bat, I can see that his mentality was right and he was confident going for it. Everything was within a foot of the target, basically. So, and with net clearance, a good heaviness to the ball, and the ball was really moving away from the court. I knew he was in a mental mode going for it his way, but it wasn't a careless way of going for it. Yesterday specifically was much better. It doesn't happen like that all the time, but normally I'd be a guy that's negative, saying, hey, you're missing too much. Come on, you got to be better than that. And I also feel like these times now with the kids, you got to be way more positive. The negative tough style, or always negative tough style, might have worked 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But I just think right now, in a nice way, kids are much more softer. They're brought up soft by their parents. Kids now especially work much better off of just more positive reinforcement than just a negative, fearful reinforcement. But I do balance them both. I still have some of the negative tough guy in me. Some people think I'm too negative, but it's a balance, and I'm still trying to be better and evolve myself. Again, very good misses. There's a big deal about good misses. If you're missing the right way, not bad. A very good wide serve so far, and even if you miss, it's been a good miss. You're really working towards your targets. Or stressing a good miss to your players really gives them the confidence to keep going for it. And it's like the equivalent of going into you're in a match and you're in an important point and you have a second serve. And if the players are going to be like, hey, don't double fault, I really think that it's just going to freeze them mentally. But if they're there with an opportunity, it's like, no, I've practiced this. I'm going to hit my second serve here. I'm going for my shot. So I think a good miss allows them the comfort to go for their shot. And as long as we can, describe what a good miss is versus a terrible miss, anything over a foot around their target, that's not a good miss. If they're serving, they should be able to pinpoint at least within a foot around their target, and then they know, and they become more professional at what they must bring when they go for their shot.